B-Bad and Brandon.
One. Pressure's on. Oh my god, it's live. Are you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because I have to, I don't know, talk about it in depth, and that just scares me.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. This is a safe place. We've had a lot of people on the podcast. This is going to come out to our 200th episode.
Fucking
I think we're like 3. I think you're 196 or 197.
Yeah, shit.
I know.
Damn. I lose track.
I only know because when I upload it. That's the only reason. Literally. Otherwise, I would have lost track a long time. But we've done over 200 because remember how we did those few bonus apps?
Oh, we never counted those.
Well, no, because they were bonuses. So now we've got like real episodes.
Real deal.
Real lot of episodes.
Oh, yeah, I reckon we could claim that we're the real deal now.
Yeah, we are the original podcasters.
Yeah, I think there was that bloke, maybe Joe Rogan before us.
Yeah,
maybe.
Nah, there was a guy called Podfather before him.
Oh, right.
He started it all.
But yeah, you could possibly say that
We're now the Podfather.
fathers.
Yep.
Podfathers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. You know
anyway.
what? Okay, yeah.
What would you like? I'd like a sausage roll.
Air fried?
Nah,
sausage.
just like a 4 and 20 sausage roll.
Get around that.
Have you had the ones from Flower and Chalk? You haven't. Yeah.
Nope.
Have you been to Flower and Chalk lately?
No, not lately. Apologies.
Yeah, you're apologised?
Excuse me.
Excused.
I'm excused. Thank you. But anyway, we can be official now.
We could be official. I like the general chat. So welcome to the Platform Podcast, Miss Olivia Hogan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You seem very tense.
Yeah.
Bit nervous?
Yes.
Just got chill.
Yeah.
Very nervous.
Just breathe. Should we hit it with a question?
Yeah.
Do you know what's coming, right? You've listened to it?
Yeah.
Of course.
Have you prepared?
220 of them.
What, like to count to 21 words?
Yeah, have you prepared?
I think I've got to 11.
Sick. Righto, let's see it then. 21 words, all sounds.
Who you are.
What you do.
Oh, we should always do that. I'll say who you are and you say what you do.
Sometimes.
Oh, you start now.
Yeah, this is your turn.
Liv Hogan, somewhat a powerlifter.
4.
That's 2 words.
Teacher. Fuck, it's hard.
You haven't even got to 11.
Epilepsy warrior, maybe?
Like, wait, I'll ask you that after. Because you've got
You got some more.
8 words left.
That's really it.
Okay, that's close.
I'm a pretty boring person.
I don't think so. Nobody's boring.
I wanna. There'll be like
Nobody's boring.
Yep. You're not boring. Did you say epilepsy warrior? Like you're a warrior of epilepsy?
No, I think it's just something that, like, it's a term that just gets thrown around the epilepsy community.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a really good place to start.
Yeah.
You have epilepsy.
Yes, I do. I've
And
had it since birth, but it was picked up in 2016.
Oh,
Oh.
that's tricky. There's a bit of a gap
Yeah,
between
so I went-
2016 and being born.
So I went
Probably
between...
young kid.
Definitely.
She's born in the 2000s?
Nah,
Oh.
1999, thank you.
Oh.
Great year. Excellent year. I finished high school.
Did you? And I started primary school.
November 1999 was
Wow,
when I was
That's
born.
literally when I finished high school.
Yeah.
Literally. What date?
22nd?
That's literally when I finished high school. I think we finished on the 20th.
Wow. Well, there you go. For anyone who's listening, you just figured out Johnny's age, which we've done so well to keep secret on this
One
podcast.
secret.
Yeah.
26. So 16 to 2019, whatever that is. How many years that is?
What?
How many years is that? 99 to 2016. The amount of years you went
Oh,
without
Oh,
realising.
17.
so I was
17.
16 when I had my
Okay,
first one.
First
Yeah.
seizure?
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
24th of January 2016.
Were you at school?
No, I was at home watching Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Yeah,
Wow, how you remember it too.
on the lounge.
Yep.
And then next minute, Dad's in my face saying, "Are you okay? You've just had a seizure."
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
empty.
How long for? Do you know? Do you remember?
I don't remember much. I was
Yeah.
asleep at the time,
Yeah.
and I think it happened when I was like waking up.
Ah.
And then, yeah, I get taken to the children's hospital out of all places, where my feet are hanging off the bed. And they did bloods and then said, "You're fine, go home."
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
Jeez. So then, what happened in the next? So obviously you haven't had a diagnosis there.
No. I eventually, one of our neighbours, he's a geriatric doctor at the Princess Alexandra Hospital, and so he knows a lot of the doctors that work there, and he knew one of the really good neurologists, and so he said, "Go and see him." And he, obviously in the public system, so I went and saw him.
Sick.
And he said, "We don't know whether it's epilepsy or not. It might be functional neurological disorder," which I don't know much about, because I was like, you know what, might be epilepsy, might be something else.
Yep.
I'll just numb out that part of my life. And then
And
next
then,
minute,
did you numb that part of your life out?
yeah. Because I was like in year 12, like it was, the final moments of like high school. All my friends are getting their licenses, and I'm in the children's hospital being told, "You can't drive."
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, damn.
So it was 6 months at the time, and then 6 months and 26 days later, I had a second one.
Is that when they investigated more?
Yeah, so at the emergency department, I was then taken to the PA at that stage. The second one, Mum witnessed, so it was really good to have like 2 recounts of the event, and they both kind of like fitted the same kind of scenario, but didn't fit a tonic-clonic seizure. And so they couldn't really say, "Oh, you've got epilepsy."
Right.
Yeah, because like the one of the scans that one of the tests they do to test for epilepsy, I wasn't coming back as having it.
Yeah, so how does that work? Sorry, no idea.
So I had an EEG, which is where they put electrodes onto your brain, and you sit in front of a bright light, and you close your eyes and you sit there as still as you possibly can, which is hard because I fiddle. And so my foot was shaking the entire time, and they were just flashing lights in front of my eyes, and there was just like no response, which means I don't have like the photosensitive epilepsy.
Yeah,
right.
And so they couldn't say they couldn't really go, "Oh, yeah, it's epilepsy, it's this type," because they didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they had to investigate further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they had like MRIs.
And what did they come back with?
The MRI came back with like a grey section in the back part of my brain, like the occipital lobe. And they kind of, like the neurologist at the time was like, "Oh, has she experienced any traumatic brain injury?" And Mum's like, "No, like not that we know of. She hasn't fallen or anything like that." And then they said, "What about at birth?" So for context, I'm a 10-pound baby. I was born natural. So obviously Mum needed assistance. They used forceps.
Yeah.
And then Mum goes, "Oh, when she was born, she had a cut on her brain. One of her eyes didn't open for 4 days, and she didn't feed." And my neurologist was like, her brain was bleeding.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So the pressure that the forceps, like the pressure that the doctors used, nicked my skull enough
to cause a brain bleed.
Yeah. And to cause epilepsy.
Yeah, so
to cause like the reason for why I have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot to swallow in grade 12. How'd you handle that one?
Fucking
oath.
Same kind of deal as the first one. I numbed it out. I don't remember how I dealt with it, because I was like, I was a sports captain at the time, or house captain. So I was like, I have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
I can't, I don't want to deal with this, because I know it's going to take over from achieving what I want to achieve at school.
What do you want to achieve at school?
I had the responsibility as a house captain to support grades 7 to 12 at every carnival, at assemblies, at every sporting event that we did at school.
You are quite an athlete.
Yeah.
These days, if you want to, yeah.
And what were you sporting at the time?
I am a dancer. I danced from when I was in year 1 to year 12. So that was my main basis. And then at school, I did indoor cricket for a term.
Sick.
Touch football, dabbled in a little bit of athletics, mainly sprinting, 100 metres, because that's all I decided to do.
Well, sorry, were we talking about cricket the other week on the podcast?
Did we cricket?
No, because I don't like cricket, but Liv's die hard.
Cricket's great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's excellent sport.
Oh, okay, maybe it definitely
A little bit left behind on cricket, but it's excellent. It's a great sport.
Yeah.
Particularly the one that goes for 5 days. That's more cricket, more
Yes.
sport.
Exactly. More fun.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we digress into.
Damn. Did it challenge you at all with what you wanted to do sporting wise? Anything like
I
that?
didn't really have like any aspirations sporting wise. I think I just decided to do a lot of sports in year 12 because a lot of like there was a big group of us that were like, you know what, let's get an entire like let's carry our team through all the different sports that they offered throughout the terms.
Oh,
And so it was the same group of girls that did indoor cricket. It was the same group of girls that did touch. It was the same group of girls that did football, soccer. And so we just kind of, had
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah. And like we were all mates, and like my dad kind of assisted with the cricket team, and then a couple of other parents like assisted with the touch team, the soccer team.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was just like, year 12, let's just have fun.
When did it actually hit you then?
What, that I had epilepsy?
Yeah.
2018.
What happened in 2018?
That was my big one.
Right.
Yeah. So I forgot to say, I was very lazy with my medication, I think, because it kind of stems from the fact that I didn't accept that I had it.
Right.
And I guess in 2016 and 17, we still didn't have a diagnosis.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So they didn't have like a clear determination on you have epilepsy. And then in 2018, I didn't take my medication for quite a few hours. Like we're talking, I didn't take it till like 1 p.m. And I usually take it at 9 o'clock.
So 9 a.m. every day, and
Yeah.
you just one day just didn't take it till 1 p.m.
Yeah. And so then I took it, had a really bad headache, and I was like, I'm just going to go have a nap. Little did I know, my brother actually said to Mum, let's leave our door open in case something happens. And bugging me dead, I woke up and I looked at myself in the mirror. I had all the symptoms. My heart was racing. I was like uncontrollably. I felt like I was sweating. And then I had the flashing in the left side of my eye, and I looked at myself and I was like, you're not having a seizure. This is fine. Like, this is going to pass. Let's just go have a shower. So I got my stuff to go have a shower. And I was like, actually, probably shouldn't have a shower right now. So I walked out to Mum and Dad and I was like, I'm about to have a seizure.
And then you did?
Yeah. So I sat in my spot on the lounge with my foot up, bucket in between my legs, just in case I spewed. And next minute, my doctor's by my side being like, are you okay? Let's test all your vital signs. Or like all my responses.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And that one was probably the hardest because it was in front of my whole family. So it no longer just affected me. It affected Mum, it affected Dad, it affected Corey, who was my little brother, for those that don't know.
He's not that little anymore.
No.
Fuck me, that's a lot to, not just for you, but obviously your family to handle
Yeah,
as well.
but the good thing was Mum was on the phone to the paramedics and she yelled at Dad. I don't remember her yelling at Dad, but they later told me that we got it on camera. So Dad filmed the entire thing from start to finish.
Oh.
And so we were able to go to the neurologist and say, this is what we saw. And he was like, yeah, that's epilepsy.
Right.
Well, that's a good thing.
And
How
I remember...
long did your seizure go for?
Probably like a minute. Like, it wasn't very long. But, like, from start to finish, it would have been, like, a decent couple of minutes. But the actual shaking itself, maybe like a minute and a half.
Fuck. That's a lot for the body to handle.
Yeah.
How do you feel post-seizure?
Like, I just feel really tired. Like, I have a migraine. I feel really sick. Like, I'm about to throw my guts up. I generally don't eat post-seizure because I've got a migraine. I generally sleep for a decent amount of hours afterwards.
Far out. It's a massive toll on just the body.
So, we went to the neurologist and said, this is what happened. Here's the video. And he goes, yep, that's epilepsy. At that stage, it was 6 months no driving and just an increase in medication because I had been seizure-free previously.
Right.
So
did you get your license in that period?
Between 2017...
When you left high school and then your next big seizure?
Yeah, so I got it back and I got, mind you, my L's, but I was able to get some hours up.
Yeah.
And I had the big seizure in 2018. And
Fuck. That must have been a very hard period watching, you're young, you're 18, 19, and you're... This is those years where you're developing.
Yeah, like I was in my prime, like...
I dare say you're in your prime now. I watched you squat the other week.
But yeah, like I was in my prime, and then to sit in a doctor's office and say, this is epilepsy.
Mm.
Like, this is what you have. It's real now. Like, you have a diagnosis. And I remember, because I think it was just mum that came with me and dad was there, but he went back to work. But then I sat in the car afterwards and mum and I were driving home. And I was like, yeah, fuck, I've got epilepsy. That's all I said. I just cried.
It's a lot for an 18-year-old to handle. Fuck.
And I think it left like a lot of underlying trauma that I didn't accept, which was the hardest part. Because, like, especially because I had it at home in such a spot that was like my favourite spot on the lounge.
Yeah, so your safe place.
Yeah, every time I sat there, I was like, no, I can't sit here. Every time something happened, like whether, you know how like you look at the sun and you get those dancing things in your eyes? If that like happened, I was like, I'm going to have a seizure. It just kept replaying on my mind.
Absolutely.
And I went from a person that was so happy, that was so content, to a person that just went to bed, woke up, went to work, came home. Like, I just completely disassociated from who I was as a person.
So how'd you get that back? Because all those words you just said there is like exactly how I see you now. Because you are like one of the happiest people we've ever met. Very cheery and very strong. We'll get to that in a second.
So I didn't admit that I needed help. I believe, I haven't asked mum in the years, but I believe she said something to my neurologist before we went to see him for a checkup, because he then said to me, you're not okay, are you? And I was like, no. And that was probably 4 months after I had the seizure.
Fuck.
And so then I got referred to the neuropsych that works out of the clinic. Had a decent sweaty eye session with her. And that's when she said, like, I wasn't exhibiting like signs, because I was still like eating, sleeping, maintaining my hygiene, like, so I wasn't, I guess, depressed.
Like the standard definition.
Yeah. So I wasn't at that point where I needed intervention via medication, but I was at the point where something needed to happen. Otherwise, I would have needed medication.
Yep.
And so we worked a lot. We worked hard. She gave me a lot of strategies. And then the final, I guess, determination was I was suffering from borderline PTSD and adjustment disorder, which was, of course, heavy to take.
100%.
Again, as an 18-year-old.
Another diagnosis.
Yeah, like it was another thing to add to the books, another thing to add to the list of things. Yeah. And so I kind of walked away and I was like, this can't be like my end point. Like, I'm not just I didn't come this far to come just this far. So I'm going to put in the work, and it's going to be hard, but I need to get better.
It's a fucking big decision to make. What, 19?
At that stage, I was turning 19, yeah.
Jesus. Like, that's a lot of, like, I've always kind of said life changes when we begin looking inwards and asking those questions. But that usually doesn't happen for a long time.
No.
And at 19, being thrust into, you got epilepsy, PTSD, total depression, adjustment disorder. That's a lot going on for anyone.
Yeah.
Let alone someone who's supposed to be out there and enjoying life. But this whole time as well, correct me if I'm wrong, you'd started uni?
I started uni in 2016. 2017 maybe? Yeah, 2017. Doing a degree in high school teaching and exercise science. I did that for 6 months. And then shit hit the fan because I had the second seizure, and I was like, I'm going to forget that part of my life and focus on just working, dealing with the mental impacts of what I was suffering from, and just functioning as a human being as best I could. And so I did that, and then I started at the current workplace that I'm at, which is childcare. So I started there in 2017, I believe, and worked there, and then eventually did my cert and my diploma. And then in 2019, I was like, actually, I'm going to go back to uni, because at that stage, I believe I had my learners back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So when did you get your P's?
I got my P's in December of 2019. And then proceeded to go overseas for 3 weeks solo.
That would have been a cool experience, getting your P's after so many knockbacks.
It was pretty much like I went for my P's and then a few days later I flew out.
That's fucking unreal. Where'd you go?
I went to America.
Did you love it? You love it?
Yeah. And I was seizure-free the entire time, which was really good. Because I walked into my neurologist and I expected him to say, like, no, I don't feel feel okay with you going. But he turned around and he said, you need this.
Cool.
That's good to have that support.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Did you get nervous when you got your P's driving?
No. The actual first night that I got my license, we went Christmas night looking with 2 of my best mates and we found a lost dog. So my car that was spick and span and nice and clean was then covered in dog fur by a Jack Russell that was just in the middle of the intersection.
Oh.
So I went from like looking for Christmas lights in like Whoop Whoop, we were down near Yatla, to finding a vet that was open to take this dog.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it was a very like eventful night, first night of having my P's.
And then you flew out, 3 days later to Kentucky?
Yeah, pretty much, like a couple of days later.
Did you spend Christmas in the US? By yourself?
Yeah. Oh, no, like I was on Kentucky.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No family or anything?
No.
How was that?
For the first, I guess, week and a half, I was extremely homesick. Like, I suffered from insomnia. I was getting an hour's sleep a night. And then still pulling up and, you know, partying like you do on Kentucky.
Yeah, fucking hell.
And, you know, driving to all these places in America and sightseeing and everything, running off very limited sleep, which, as someone that suffers from epilepsy, not the best thing to do.
Sleep's good for...
Yeah, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Things.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
So, yes, I certainly played with fire while I was over there. And then it got to Miami and I found, Orlando, and I, like, connected with a couple of people on Kentucky and found some mates. My cousin rang me and she's like, go and get melatonin tablets from Walmart. So I went and got melatonin tablets and discovered what sleep is like.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, mighty Walmart.
Yeah.
And then let's so you come back, go back to study and everything like that.
Yep.
How the fuck did you discover the gym, powerlifting?
I was over in America and I said to myself, you know what, when I get back, I'm going to join a gym. So I messaged a PT while I was over there. And I was like, my message was literally like, I'm currently in the US, but I get back on this day. Can we meet up and have a chat? And just went from there.
Sweet.
Yeah, right.
And I never took it seriously in the beginning. It was like I just ate shit. Not literal shit.
Yeah,
but...
we figured you didn't. We figured you didn't eat.
But like I didn't.
But thank you for explaining. Yeah,
the clarification's necessary.
Yeah, the listeners could have taken that. Oh, maybe Liv did that, and that's actually what's wrong. Definitely.
I'll eat some food now.
Yeah.
But like I didn't. I guess because I was just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I would complain every single session. Like you think I complain now, but this person that joined the gym, like I would get told, oh, we're doing deadlifts, and I'd be like, get fucked, I'm not doing them.
Was there a goal in mind for joining the gym?
No, it was just pretty much just join it, have fun, see what happens.
Yep.
So how did you discover powerlifting?
My PT at the time said, look, like I think this could be something that we, like, you know, get started on. And I just kept saying, no, I don't want to do it because what if I fail? And it was always like the what if I fail, you know, and because I didn't want to fail. I didn't like no one likes failing, but I just didn't because I knew that it would be like harder hitting.
Yeah, because you've already been through.
Yeah. So I was like, no, let's just, you know, keep doing it for fun. And then eventually I had a look at some comps and Valhalla on the south side was running a comp. And so I just entered it and then messaged my PT and was like, I just entered this comp.
That's such a you thing to do.
Yeah.
How'd you go?
I didn't end up competing in that one because it was at the time of COVID. So we went through one lockdown and then a week out of what was meant to be my comp, it got cancelled. And then I messaged Lily and I was like, oh, it's Pretty and Powerful still happening. And she was like, as far as I'm aware, it is. So then I said to my PT, let's just do Pretty and Powerful.
And how'd you go there?
I ended up winning.
Yeah, you did. What did you squat?
Squatted 147.5. Benched 6.
No, 147.5.
Bare knees.
Bare knees, yeah, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Benched 60 and deadlifted 152.5.
Not bad for first game, mate.
It's fucking strong, eh?
Did you realise that was strong at the time, or did you just think that was normal?
I just thought it was normal. Like, I don't see myself as strong.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after the podcast.
Like, I guess because a lot of people that I look up to are, like, stronger than what I am, and so I'm like, I still have so far to go. There's, like, so much to work towards. Or whatever.
It's just time in the game, isn't it? Like, we just went through another comp.
Yes.
And
States.
What'd you squat?
You're forgetting one thing, though.
Oh, I was going to come back to that.
Oh.
Fuck, I think don't mind me reviving the last 3 weeks or 3 months. But yeah, so you at States, you
yes.
hit 165. Was it?
Yes.
165 kilo squat and sleeves.
Yes.
Bench 72.
2.5.
And pulled 157. No, 162.
Yeah, 162.
That's a total.
Yeah, and a big improvement. Came third.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Came third to Taylor and Lil.
Yeah.
That was a really cool moment, actually.
Damn.
It was very fun being on the podium.
With those two.
Yeah, with
tricky to come first with the Lily on your
category. Yeah, fucking hell.
It's a tricky place. Not a bad person to go third to, though.
100%.
It was, like, really lovely competing, I guess, not against, but with Lily. Because, I don't know, I always tell her, I always tell you, she's one of my biggest inspirations.
It's funny because you're one of her biggest inspirations. There's that awkward bit.
Yep.
But for the listeners, what happened 10 weeks out from States?
I woke up on the 18th of February and I went and did fasted cardio, which I hadn't done in a while. Came home, had food, had my medication, and then not long after I'd taken my medication, I started experiencing not all the signs of a seizure, but certainly the flashing lights in the left side of my eye. So I took my emergency drugs. It didn't stop it. I went out to Dad and I was like, I just stood there on the deck and I was like, Dad, I'm about to have a seizure. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing standing up then? Get beside. I was like, I needed to tell someone. Like, someone needs to be there to watch it.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
That's...
And so we went inside and I laid on the lounge and he's like, have you taken your Frisium, which is my emergency drug?
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I've taken 2. It hasn't worked. Can you please go get me another? So I took 30 milligrams, which you're not meant to do.
Yep.
It is certainly possible, but you're not really meant to do it.
Yep.
But I took 3. Didn't stop. And yeah, I had another seizure.
Boom.
And the first thing I thought of as soon as I came out of it was, the fuck's going to happen with States? I was meant to go to the gym with Cass. I had a dietitian's appointment. I was meant to be going to lunch with 2 girls from work. And what about my license? They were the 5 things on my mind.
Oh, yeah. So what's the process next? Do you go to hospital for a checkup after
so,
an event like that? Or do you
I went to hospital for bloods. Paramedics came. My glucose levels were sitting at 3.6, which is like normal after a seizure. But I was like, part of my work, I did have a little girl that I looked after that had diabetes. So I knew, 3.6 is not normal. 3.6 is a low.
Yeah.
And my sodium levels were borderlining extremely low. Which is a side effect from medication, but obviously it's like catch-22. Low sodium causes seizures.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And there was no real determination on what caused it at the time because I'd done everything. Done everything right.
Fucking hell.
But it's so crazy because after, like, this seizure number 4, I remember trying to roll myself over on, like, the higher side of the lounge, and because I was like, in my head I was like, I know I need to get to the recovery position, and so I'm there trying to throw my leg up and over the lounge into the recovery position, but it's not going anywhere.
Fuck. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Damn.
It was a lot.
Crazy you're still, like, I guess, present, if that's the right word.
Yeah.
When it's happening.
I think, like, I was a lot, like, this one only lasted for, like, 20, 30 seconds. Yeah. And I'd like to think that part of it has something to do with the fact that I took so much of those emergency drugs that it kind of lessened the amount of time that it went for. But I still had a seizure at the end of the day.
Fuck. So no license still, unfortunately.
Yes, no license still. I thought it was only 3 months, but they are in the process of changing my medication.
Yep.
To Keppra, which most epileptics would know is Keppra Rage, which is fun and isn't the best drug to switch to.
It's a big unfortunate one.
Yes, but I mean, I refused it for a week, but I'm currently in my first week of taking it, and I'm on a very low dose, 250 milligrams, so it can only, get worse from here.
How do you, so after you had your 4th seizure,
yes,
leading to states recently,
yes,
you had 3 before this, obviously, and was there a point where you're like, oh fuck, not again?
Yeah, I was lying in the back of the ambulance, and I remember the paramedics saying, like, you're messaging a lot of people. I was like, yeah, I have a lot, like, that I was planning on doing today. And then all of a sudden I just put my phone down and started bawling my eyes out, and that's pretty much all I did. From home to the hospital, and for the 4 hours I was in hospital. And obviously because of COVID I was alone.
Right.
So I'm, an adult in an adult hospital, but I didn't have mum. Yeah. And that's the only person I wanted.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide, no, I'm not, like, this isn't going to be the narrative, like, I'm going to continue on it?
It was very hard, because I remember the first couple of weeks after that seizure, there were days where I was like, I'm not getting out of bed. I'm going to, there were times, I will admit to you now, I considered cancelling prep and cancelling states.
But that would have been a normal response for anyone.
Yeah.
Yet you didn't do it.
I just decided that I didn't, like I said before, I didn't come this far, I only come this far. And I have 2 choices. I can either throw in the towel and give up, but it's not something that I do as a person. It's not something that, mum and dad raised me. They raised me to keep going until you quite possibly can't.
Fuck, you open to cry. Fuck. Held in this whole time.
You've done well.
Yeah, I did. I feel like it.
Is there much support out there for people with epilepsy?
There's Epilepsy Queensland, which is really good. They have counsellors on site and I guess people that are trained in how to support newly diagnosed people. And then there's a couple of support groups out there. So yeah.
Liv's just been recently, or asked to be recently, featured on Epilepsy Queensland.
Yes.
Because after her last competition, which is quite inspiring, I'm going to cry again. Fuck. It's been a journey to watch you get there. And so I'm glad that they've reached out to share a lot of your story, because, we've been talking for nearly 35 minutes now, and it's just resilience after resilience after resilience, and just shows obviously your values as a person, but also your strength as a person, which is fucking unreal. Been through a lot in your young years, and you're only just getting started, which is a scary thing.
I think the cool thing is, I'm sure you think along the lines, but you sharing your story, there'll be another young person out there who gets to hear what you're saying, and then that pulls them away from their dark space, or making a decision to stop something that they were about to enjoy.
Yeah, and I think I'll admit now, I don't see what I've gone through as inspiring. I don't see it as a form of resilience, because at the end of the day, it's the cards I've been dealt, and it's up to me to decide how I use them.
We should have put fucking tissues.
But one of my mates said something the other day, just recently, that there could be another boy, girl out there that is experiencing everything that I experienced when I was first diagnosed, and could be lying at home going, I feel so alone, feeling the exact same way that I felt. And if this can help them realize that even though it life feels so dark and life feels so shit, and it feels like there's just battle after battle being thrown your way, it does get better. And things will start increasing, but you have to continue to give 1% every day. And slowly that 1% will increase. Get out of bed, go and have a shower, have breakfast, go to work. Like every little step will help you find, I guess, what you're wanting to achieve.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely be helping a lot of people. That
100%.
There'll be plenty of people getting their diagnosis at a young age and then just cancelling what they're doing, just saying too hard basket.
But even beyond just the people dealing with epilepsy, I think anyone listening to this can just go, yep, I don't have to throw in the towel no matter what you're going through. A dark period's still a dark period. And I think it's very admirable that you've sharing. We appreciate your vulnerability for sure. I know a lot of our listeners will do the same. But to wrap it up,
I'm on it. I'm getting there.
We've got 10 very important questions.
Okay.
Big questions.
Random.
Very random. Rapid
fire. First thing that comes to your mind. This is going to be fucking interesting. This is going to be lit.
Okay, here we go. What'd you have for dinner last night?
Meatballs.
Yeah, meatballs and pasta.
Excellent. Best cartoon you've ever seen?
The Rugrats.
Oh, good one.
When was the last time you changed your bed sheets?
If you say Mum did.
No, Mum didn't. I just don't know when I washed them last.
Oh, you're one of them. Well, at least you're honest, because I feel like there's a few other people that may have answered this question without honesty. And they said, yeah, we changed it last week.
I have one pair of bed sheets, so... I'm
not sure I understand.
Neither does Suri.
Kogan, get on Kogan, they're real cheap. What's your middle name?
Renee.
Favourite year and why?
Probably year 11.
Excellent.
Oh, why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just a fun year.
Good year.
You mean year 11 of school?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Favourite year, like as in year?
Yeah,
I thought you meant school year.
Any year. Any year.
I don't know. Probably this year.
It's a good year.
Hardly.
Whatever.
First piece of music you owned?
Oh, shit. Probably one of those, like, so pop fresh hits or something.
Oh, yes. Excellent. Last dream you had?
I dreamt that last night that I slept in and missed the lift to uni.
Oh.
And I got to uni really late.
Oh, dear. What will you do when you retire?
A whole lot of sweet fuck all.
Sweet.
I love that.
Your morning routine?
Get up, get yelled at by mum to have a shower, pack my lunch, and then get a lift to work or placement.
Sick. And what do you think of AI?
Artificial intelligence.
The fuck is that?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot she's young. She probably hasn't seen Terminator.
Yeah. You've lost me at Terminator.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a good point to wrap up on the podcast.
There's your homework.
Yeah, there's your homework. Fuck the prehab I gave you. Just go watch
watch that, please.
Terminator. I'm shocked by that, actually, hey. But
when did it come out?
A long time ago. Yeah, exactly.
Been out many times.
Oh, gosh.
Righto, youngin. Thank you so much for coming on, sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
No, I know how nervous you were, but as we said before, like, this, I think, will inspire a lot of people around you without even realising it. You have an incredible story. For those who did want to reach out, how can they find you?
Mainly Instagram. It's my main form of communication. Liv Hogan _
On the gram.
On the gram. We'll definitely put that in the show notes. Mate, you are phenomenal. Keep being you, please. And we'll have to get you back on when you score 200.
200. End of the year, I guess.
You'll be fine. You'll be right.